Bro, I don't even want to make this video. Forspoken is an action RPG fantasy game about a woman from New York or something like that who gets transported into a fantasy world and finds talking items to help her along the way. You know, literally an isekai. Now, based on the trailer, the combat looks pretty fast paced. You know, a lot of movement and zipping around while casting big spells, a vast open world, and plenty of monsters to fight. Based on the trailer, I didn't have any major problems with what I saw. I didn't really care for the talking book or weapon or whatever it is. You know, some people think it's a bit cheesy. The only thing that I was worried about was the combat. If the combat wasn't fun at all, then all of this falls apart. So with that in mind, I start the demo up and I immediately jump into the tutorial, and within the first 15 seconds, I noticed the game feels a bit off. And this feeling stuck with me for the entire hour-long playthrough. Not that the demo was an hour long, no, I only sat through it for an hour. So to start, the camera had a slight delay to it. The point from when you would turn your analog stick and when the camera actually moved was like slightly off, and when the character moved was also slightly off. Is this the demo, or is this the way the game is supposed to be played? I don't know, but there are many things about this that just don't sit right with me. The game has a parkour system. In the trailer, it looked like a pretty cool traveling mechanic to get around the world and freely jump over terrain like rocks and trees. Now, there are two issues that I found with this. The first one, which I didn't really know I could fix until like 30 minutes in, so in the grand scheme of things this doesn't actually matter anymore, but I did have to deal with this for like, 30 minutes and then look up to the issue to fix this. So the first issue is that the parkour button is set to the circle button, and you had to hold it and keep it held to activate parkour, meaning as your character was running at like 80 miles per hour, you didn't really have a free hand to, like turn the camera or do anything else. But like I said, there was an option to make it so that you can just toggle it. You press the circle button and she just auto parkours for you, so not really that big of a deal. But the second issue was that the parkour system is fucking jank. In an open world, when you're just trying to get from one checkpoint to another, it's pretty fun to just run around with the wind blowing through your hair. But if you need to like climb a wall or something, this thing freaks the hell out. It is a struggle to get this bitch over any wall in the game, like Jesus Christ. But that aside, let's get back to the tutorial. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. So it feels like there's a slight delay in just about everything that I want to do. The parkour system fluctuates between being really fun or a hot mess, but there's still the combat, the only thing that I was suspicious of from the trailer. So currently, from where I was in the demo, the main character had two sets of spells: earth magic in the form of projectiles for ranged combat, and fire magic in the form of swords for melee combat. Now, it does look cool slinging giant spells at your enemy. Seeing rocks explode from the ground and hurling exploding fire spears looks anime as hell. Pretty cool. So yeah, it looks cool, but it doesn't feel cool. See, the attack buttons are mapped to your L2 and R2 triggers. R2 for your damaging moves, and L2 for your support moves like binding your enemies or stealing health from them so that you can heal yourself. So attacking in this game just requires you to mash the R2 button. And as a spell slinger using the earth magic, this felt pretty bad, because the magic functions as a gun like in, say, Call of Duty or any other shooting game. But in a shooting game, you can just hold the trigger. But in Forspoken, you have to tap the trigger each time you want to fire, or hold the trigger to charge up your attacks to use its full version, like exploding rocks or a wall of rock. So if you aren't really catching what I'm trying to say, this game hurts my fingers. And it hurts my fingers to fire a projectile like once a second. Like I'm not even like, firing off giant explosive. It's just kind of like one rock every second for the carpal tunnel I'm getting. And the melee isn't actually much better. Now, it doesn't feel as bad to keep hitting the attack button for melee, because it's melee, I guess you have to do that. That's just how melee games work. But there's like no feedback to the melee. Like there's no weight behind her attacks. The enemies don't like react or stumble around. It just kind of feels soft and weak. I didn't really like the melee either. Now, with that complaint in mind, there was a subsection of the earth magic that allows you to turn her attacks into like a machine gun, but there was problems with that. Because the character, once she equips that magic subset, she's like so locked in place that she can't really turn around to shoot her enemies. So you kind of just miss a lot when you're fighting like an enemy that's just like slightly mobile. He got a little limp, a little drift to him. So it was kind of, not that good. So with all that in mind, all of that information I just threw in, let's break down how all of this comes together to absolutely bore me out of my mind. So you finally hit the open world. lush green areas, a beautiful sky with the sun in the distance. The world is your oyster and nothing can stop you. You see the mission markers on your screen and you immediately head off to the closest one. With the parkour system activated, like a beautiful gazelle, you leap across the land heading to your destination, maneuvering over rocks and trees, soaring through the sky until you hit your first objective, a house. Maybe someone's in there with some juicy info, or maybe it's someone who's been alive too long and you've come to fix that. Whatever it is, you're ready for whatever lies in wait. You know, you have a little trouble getting over the steps, but with optimism in your heart, you won't let that stop you. And you finally enter the house to find nothing. You know, you loot the place, you find a closet, you open the closet. This takes like 5 seconds, and this is like every single time. You see a bunch of shit that means absolutely nothing to you because, so what am I even looking at? What the hell is this game? And you know what? We're off. On to the second mission. Let's find something else to do. Oh, a showdown on the bridge. It's time for a real battle. You get in position, you pop your headphones on, set the appropriate playlist, and you go to town. Immediately, you open fire. Bullet after bullet, you are unloading into this dude. You haven't figured out how to dodge yet, so you start jumping around out the way of attacks, charging up your spells for giant explosions, jumping around, creating explosion after explosion. 3 minutes have passed. You've only killed one guy. Something feels off. Your fingers are starting to cramp, but you won't let that stop. And that's when the game finally lets you know that you can dodge with the circle. While in parkour mode, you would automatically dodge any attack. And now as you know this, it's about to ramp up. It's time to unleash your full power. You take a few pain pills, crack your fingers with a good stretch, and it's time for round 2. You begin unloading into the enemy, and as he charges up his attack, you know what to do. He'll never see this coming. You scoff, and you roll your eye. Prepare for this. You dodge your first attack and immediately jump off the bridge. What the fuck? You know what? You say to yourself, dodging is for pussies. I don't need to dodge. And as you slowly make your way down the bridge, tanking shot after shot, constantly healing yourself, auto heal, you finally defeat what you thought was the last thing, only to look up and see that there are 10 more of them on the other side of the bridge, and you say nope and immediately leave. Peace out, I can't do this anymore. You give another mission a try, a defense mission. There are people who are going to stand on this platform because they really want to die. I mean, really, just move, just walk away, just go anywhere else. You have this whole area and you just want to stand in this one spot. But you know, you can't let them die despite how hard they really want to die. You have to keep them alive. And I really don't want to try to explain how this mission made me feel, so I'm just going to let you watch a few seconds of it. And you know, if this looks exciting to you, then you know, go play the game, but maybe you can feel what I'm feeling.
Don't let them outflank you.
Not gonna happen. Much obliged.
Well, finish the job.
Anyway, yeah, that was pretty boring too, but you know what? You kind of got to do something with the game, so you quit the mission and you go back to the bridge. You're about maybe 20-30 minutes in now. You're a bit better at dodging, and you painstakingly kill each enemy on that bridge, and you finally make it to the boss. You find out that the boss is weak to fire magic. You bring out your hell-splitting fire sword, and you mash the attack button until she dies. Well, why not go take a look around? You run around to your next mission. Nothing really around you, no characters or things going on, but that's when you come across the strongest enemy in the game. The walls. Please! Oh god, just get out the wall! You open the map. It's too big. You'll turn the game off before you walk all the way around to the other side of this wall. There must be a checkpoint somewhere, right? There has to be fast travel in the game this huge, right? Somewhere. Anywhere. Ah, the defense mission. Back to square one. You fast travel back to the defense mission and then it immediately makes you start it, so you then have to quit it. But now you're back on top of the wall, or you're at least higher up where she can kind of like fidget her way up the wall, which you know, you take what you can get. You find another mission. This one isn't terrible. Kill some enemies, try out your other powers. There are birds. I hate birds. They're hard to hit. You complete the mission, you open a chest and you get +3 defense or something worthless. I don't know, whatever. You get back to travel. Just running through the world, looking for something to do. You find a mission over the cliff, and this is it. You say goodbye to everything you once knew, because once you get down that cliff, you know there is no way you're getting back up there. This is it. okay? This is the end game. You are committed to doing this mission because what you're leaving behind, you will never get back to. But down there, you find a challenge, a real challenge.
ほう、向かってくるのか。
It's go time. God damn! Yeah, I took one look at the damage it was taking and I turned the game off. And that was my experience with Forspoken. I feel like the game has a lot of good ideas. A skill tree to unlock more spells, armor pieces, and customization to improve your character. Giant cool attacks and an open world to run through. A lot of these feel like cool ideas, but the execution, all of it in practice, just doesn't feel good, man. The parkour system feels janky. Combat feels awful because your melee attacks don't have any impact and you're just smacking the enemies with a wet paper towel. And attacking with the projectiles will give you joint pain. It feels like you're supposed to be like flying around the battlefield, but every time I try to play it that way, I'm losing track of the enemy, I'm throwing myself into places I don't want to be, I'm in physical pain from having to mash so hard, and mashing out literally just like 3 attacks. I'm destroying my fingers for 3 attacks. All of this just to do like no damage, and I'm literally on the normal difficulty. Nothing about this combat feels fun or exciting. This vast open world looks great, but there's just nothing here. It's just open, literally an open world. A lot of cool concepts and ideas. Everything about playing this game on paper sounds fun, but in practice it has so many things that are off about it that it sucks any enjoyment that I might start to feel. And at this point, I don't even know if it's me. Am I playing the game wrong? Do I just not get it? I genuinely don't know, but at this point I don't really want to play anymore. And that's how I felt after playing Forspoken for 1 hour. So if you played the game, let me know how you feel. Maybe I'm just fucking stupid and I just don't get how you're supposed to play the game. Maybe I'm just not doing it right, but you know, let me know how you feel in the comment section down below. Let me know if you're excited for this game. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like and sub to my channel, and peace. Thanks for watching.